I'm curious, is what you teach like what they teach in modern day pickup, would you say?
No,
No,
no.
because I went to a
Modern
PUA
day,
I went to a PUA boot camp a couple years ago. And it was really interesting. But I was curious if it would have been similar to what, like, you did.
no, 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 no. Because PUA, there's three schools of PUA. One of them is from mystery method, and it
Yeah.
revolves around demonstrating higher value, negging a woman, throwing something that's part insult, part compliment, nonsense like that. I don't do that. My whole thing is how can I use language to capture, lead, evoke, amplify the emotions that I want a woman to look at me through. That's the whole difference in orientation. The other aspect of speed seduction is healing. How can you get past your own trauma and build a state that's attractive, that's not traumatized? And the third part is learning from your mistakes. Look, in an area of life that's emotionally difficult, where you had a lot of challenges and a lot of failures, you can't expect to move logically up the learning curve. You're going to have places where you're looking at your possibility through the pain of your past. So I teach guys techniques to have a clear mind and to be able to quickly go up the learning curve and learn from their mistakes. Otherwise, you're just going to slide right back down because you're not going to see what you did right. My experience as a teacher and a trainer and a coach for 30 years has taught me that it takes discipline and training to see your wins. We are hardwired to look for what we did wrong. Your brain is not wired to make you happy. Your brain is wired to keep you safe, which means you're going to look at your errors. It goes against the stream to learn to look at your small wins. So being able to build a vision that's not dependent on your emotions or on the events of the day is one of the skills I teach. And that can be used in business and any area of life. That's a mouthful, but I'm a big talker.
So, what do you mean could you tell me more about, like, you said you teach them to have, like, a clear mind almost?
Yes. Yes. So ever since 2006, my mom, who I to this day I still love. She's alive in my heart. My mom died of liver cancer. It was a slow, painful death that I had to watch her go through.
Mhm.
And right around then, I had the need, and my teacher showed up, my meditation teacher. He taught me Buddhist. I'm not a Buddhist, but the tools are very useful. He taught me something called vipassana, mindfulness meditation. And with mindfulness, you don't try to tighten up or turn away from the emotion, but you don't tell yourself a story. You don't feed the fuel the fire, so to speak, with stories about it. You allow yourself to experience the raw emotion as it expands, as it contracts, as it gets larger, as it gets bigger. And through that practice, I was able to get rid of the storytelling and just experience the emotion. So I teach my students well, I don't teach anymore. I do it all through the AI. But again, if they come out and pay me a bleep ton of money, I require my students to meditate, to do mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is all the rage in psychology now, but I was doing it back in 2006. That has fundamentally changed my view of what it means to be human and how I walk through the world. It's taught me a little bit. I'm far, far from mastery. It's taught me how to be happy, independent of circumstances, and how to find peace, even in the midst of the worst chaos. And so, what's different from my system? Yeah, PUA may teach you to get women here and there. In
Mhm.
my system, you have to grow as a human being to get good at it. Sure, you can mouth and imitate and parrot my language patterns, but if you really want to get good at it, you have to grow as a human being. Had you met the Ross Jeffries from 10 years ago, I would have been insulting you. I would have been trying to tear you to pieces. I honestly wouldn't have seen you as a human who has her pain, who has her failings, who also has genuine beliefs in what she's doing. I wouldn't have encouraged you where I think you're going right. But the person I'm showing up as today is due to that very practice that I teach my students. So that's another way in which it's profoundly different.
So, you because if someone feels an emotion, you tell them to like feel it and not tell stories about it. What does that mean? So if I feel sad or happy, like what do you?
So, so you're asking great questions. So what I mean by that is you experience the actual flow of emotions. Where do you experience it? Is it in your chest? Is it spreading? Is it static? Is it expanding and getting stronger? Is it contracting and getting smaller? Just pick. When my mother died, uh, I was I was just crippled with grief. I couldn't move. I would lay in my bed. I remember apply the practice. I instead of saying I shouldn't be grieving and why is this happening to me, I just let the raw waves of grief pass through my body. I didn't resist them. I didn't tighten up against them. I stopped the internal dialogue. I just let the raw feelings of grief move through my body. Now it's in my legs. Now it's going local in one spot. Now it's globally spread through my body. And by allowing it to happen without fighting it, within 30 minutes, it just broke up into waves of energy. And I was able to function. I was grieving, but I wasn't suffering to the point where I couldn't function. That's what I mean by it. Is that making it any more clear?
Yeah, so it's almost like you're not telling stories about it and like thinking
Yeah.
about all the stuff about your mom dying. You're just like
Yes.
focusing on the emotion and it
Yes.
makes it go away.
Yes.
And then you have a
Because
clearer
people,
mind.
yeah, yes, because typically people make two bad choices. They either tighten up and turn away, or they feed it with story. I learned, look, I'm just cooking with the ingredients my teacher Shinzen Young taught me. In my mind, he is the meditation, what Einstein was to physics. He made it available to me. He made it rigorous and scientific and no and worshiping statues and burning incense or none of that nonsense. As you can see, even though we've had disagreements, I'm a very rigorous thinker. I appreciate science and logic and clear thinking. And he was the first person to make it available to me. So I teach my students that because, again, in an area of life, it's not like learning to ride a bicycle. In an area of life where you've had a lot of failure, I've had students come to me and say, honestly, Ross, I had a bottle of bleach waiting in my in back in my apartment. I was going to drink it if this seminar didn't work. I've had guys tell me that he had the gun out in the nightstand. I had a student, brilliant composer from Canada. His name was Tristan. He told me at the midnight, January and New Year's Eve at midnight, he walked into the ocean and he got this close and he heard a little voice in his head say, "No, get on the internet." And he found me. So I joke around. I say things like, "You don't get laid. I don't get paid. Get laid now. Ask me how." I joke around because I'm a provocateur. If I said, modulate your emotions and communicate in a way that blah, 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 no one would sign up. Just like you have to provoke in order to get views, even though now, after this conversation, I've come to change my view of you. I think you really do believe most of what you're saying.
Mhm.
You've learned to say it in a provocative way. In the same way, I have genuine compassion for my students, and I really care. I want to make a difference, even though I act like a hole, because that's the Ross Jeffries persona.
Mhm.
That's how Ross Jeffries gets views. That's how I do what I do
Mhm.
in a different media form than you do. You're young and modern. I'm an old fart who's more excited about a nap than getting a woman.
Mhm. Um, that actually makes sense. Do you think young people need that more because we've all been on had social media since we were like young? Because I was even thinking my sister's generation, they only hang out online. It's really weird. Like because my generation, we got social media when I was like 13 maybe or 14, but like most of my childhood we didn't have it, but my sisters like they all had it from like super young.
I think every human being needs it. I think we live in an increasingly nasty, chaotic, narcissistic, cruel world where we're divided more than ever. This wokeism is a cancer. I know, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I know that feminists, in many ways, what's his name? The guy who runs 21 Convention likes to say feminism is a cancer. Well, I like to say that wokeism is a cancer, self-indulgence is a cancer, and being able to learn how to be compassionate for yourself and to other people is the antidote to all of it.
Mm,
You can be controversial, but also compassionate. You can be flamboyant, but also genuinely care for other people. Ultimately, my view of you has changed because of the way you've conducted this interview. I see you as someone who says things to provoke, but who basically does believe what she says and who has the maturity. I'm not being condescending, I'm being honest, and who has the maturity to change her views. And that takes courage. It
mhm.
takes tremendous courage to say, you know what? I've changed my views on it because I'm sure you're going to take heat from your fans. So I honestly do. I salute you for your courage and your tenacity and your work ethic. Your work ethic is better than mine, or I'd be wealthier than I am. Where did you get your work ethic? Was that influence? You don't have to answer. Did you get it from your mom?
I got it from my dad.
From your
Uh,
father?
yeah, my dad's like, yeah, my dad, he built like a software company. It had over like 200 employees, and
Wow.
yeah, and he built like a 10-bedroom house like himself. He just built
Wow.
like he just made a shed. He's like in his 50s and 60s, and he like is probably in better shape than most guys in their 20s. And
Hey,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and he does like everything himself. So he like
let me try to flex the pecs.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, he's like in a different type of shape. Like he doesn't lift or anything, but like he's just one of those guys that are like go, go, go. And so when I was like how old was I? I remember I was like 10 or 12, and I was a year young. I was a year young in school. Um and I always had like a hard time in school because I was a year young, and when you're young, it's like I don't know, it's like a bigger anyways, and I was like 12, and I thought I was stupid, right? Because I couldn't do math or I couldn't do something. And then my
Right.
dad, he told me, he said, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, one, you're not stupid, and two, it's not about how smart you are, it's about how hard you work. And the older you get in life, he said, I would rather employ someone that works hard than is smart because, you're young now and like talent wins now, but you're going to get older and the people that work hard are going to win. And I don't know, it just kind of like stuck with me, I guess. So,
That,
yeah.
as we say in Hebrew, kol hakavod, all the glory to your father. Good for him. He should be very proud of his daughter because you're living the work ethic
Yeah.
that he gave you, Pearl.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Did
you.
you expect me to be an asshole, or did you expect this, or did you expect me to be a real a-hole to you?
Oh, no, I thought you'd be nice. I thought you were nice in your
Oh,
videos.
no, you're right.
Yeah. I didn't think you were, no, no, because I was just curious. Like, I wasn't really trying to like go back and forth. I was just curious, like, what your thoughts were, because you seem like a smart guy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You forgot to mention a silver fox.
yeah, yeah, that
You got
too.
lucky. He was very mean to me when when I first met him.
He was
Was
mean.
I mean to you, Ice?
Of course. Well, we were just playing around anyway.
We were just playing, and you took it well. We're still friends, so you took it well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Off the air, Pearl, I'll tell you who my famous niece is. I can't tell you on the air.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on. This was fun.
Thank you,
You
Pearl.
should come back. We'll do this again. Yeah.
I'd be proud and happy. And again, congratulations on your work ethic and your success. And my hope for you is that you do continue to grow as you seem to be at the beginning of more nuance than you're thinking. It'll improve the power of your voice and improve what you bring to the table. I really believe that.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Ice White, for putting it together.
Thanks. Yeah, no worries. What are you gonna do for celebrating 2 million subscribers when you get there? Very soon, I hope.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even do anything. You know what's funny? I didn't even do anything for 1 million. Like I didn't even order the plaque. Blessing did it for me. I didn't like even order the plaque to what was I at? Like 1.5. um
Yeah.
so I don't know. I don't usually do anything. I just say yay and I just keep going.
Well, listen, Dan Bilzerian is willing to come on your show. So when he's busy right now, but once he's ready, he'll be ready to go.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, he's lived an interesting life. That's a guy that slept with like a bajillion girls, right?
Pretty much, yeah. He almost bought Playboy, but he changed his mind after Hugh Hefner died, of course.
Hmm.
He changed his mind because they stopped doing only women models, if you know what I mean.
Oh, oh, dang. Well, I don't know. I hear his stories, and my number one question is, how did you not like catch anything? You know what I mean? That's
Oh
like
well, just
Exactly.
like just like Ross, he has like this whole legitimate testing process. But I recommend you read his book, The Setup. He released it 2 or 3 years ago.
oh, really?
It's
Um,
very good.
well, do you guys want to tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, they can find me at speedseduction.ai. You can get it's like having the virtual me 24/7. You can go on there and try it for free. So it's speedseduction.ai. If you're willing to fork over a minimum of $50,000 for a weekend, go to seduction.com/apply. But really, I don't do it anymore. You have to find me at speedseduction.ai. Thank you for that, Pearl. I appreciate it.
And do you want to
Nice.
tell them where they can find you too?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, Game Global. I also have my own AI, which is the AI wingman for online dating called MGAI, short for Message Game AI, based on my book. Working on the second edition of that. But if you just Google or go to the website gameglobal.net, you can find a banner at the top, which will take you straight there. It's to give you responses to your Tinder matches, Instagram messages, and so much more to get women on dates. And it's based on a lot of data over the years and put together by real AI people who used to work at Google, um, as well as dating experts. So there we
And
go.
mine will tell you what to do once you get them on the dates to not spend money and actually get them in your bed. So they're complementary, not competitive.
Mine will
Pearl,
get
thank
you
you
the
for this.
date.
Yeah. Oh,
Pearl, thank you for this.
yeah. And guys, he had a really good pickup line on my show. I don't remember what it was, but I remember I liked the date idea. It was like
Oh, what,
rollerblading.
my
Yeah,
line?
yeah. You had something on the show that.
What are free things? Let's skip all the bullshit. What are free things you would love to do for a first date was one of them, and another one was let's skip all the bullshit. How spontaneous are you? No, how adventurous are you? And you said you love going rollerblading. You
Yeah.
like basketball, and I forgot what the other one was. And yeah, I suppose someone or plenty of people probably sent you lots of messages copying those
My
lines.
my shade on that would be if you could go somewhere where none of your friends would ever find out what you would do, where would you go and what would you be doing?
You ask good questions. I don't even know.
You don't have to answer that, but it's a good
Okay.
question.